Guys, what's the crack? Bitcoin with Dinny, it's Dinny here, and I'm here to answer your questions. So, just out for a walk, and I've one or two questions that people have already asked, and I'll do them first. But if you've any questions, if you've anything you want to know, type it in the comments, and I'll go through your questions, and we'll answer them. Bitcoin, crypto, all that good stuff. So, one of the questions was asked me in the comments of one of the posts, and it was, Dinny, all you do is you speak about Bitcoin. What about cryptocurrency? What about crypto? Should I buy crypto? How come you don't talk about crypto? And I'll give you my answer to that. Do me a favour and hit the like button, because that'll push this alert out to more people to know I'm live, and we get better questions. And the better questions we get, the more we all learn, provided I'm able to answer them, of course. But when it comes to crypto, I do mainly only talk about Bitcoin on this channel, okay? Now, I talk about crypto to my entirely club, okay? Which is a gated community. But, you know, there might be specific bets I'm going to make, and I'll talk about them. But the problem with crypto is, okay, every market cycle, and market cycles come in 4 years, okay, which revolve around Bitcoin's halvening. I'd done a video earlier explaining what that was in terms of hotels and assassinations, so hopefully you caught that. But every market cycle, 99% of people who try and get rich in crypto, they lose their money and they just give it to venture capitalists who are already rich. So that's why I don't promote it. That's why I don't encourage people to go there, because you're going into a game where if there's 100 years to go play the game, one person's making money and the other 99% is, the other 99 years are losing. That's not a good game to play, people. Okay? So, when it comes to investing or risk, you want to take risk that's on your side. You want to take investments that you can win. So, you don't want to take investments that you're going to lose. And that's why crypto's a loser's game, okay? Unless you're going to prepare to become an insider, join all the telegrams, and devote your life to it. And you're not. You're just hoping to get rich quick. So that's why I don't advise people to go into crypto. I'm like, read a Bitcoin book. Until you've read a Bitcoin book, what the hell are you at? Because this whole space came from Bitcoin. So if you want to understand crypto, read a Bitcoin book. It'll help you become a better crypto investor if you're going to be. Sweet. So guys, I'm here to answer questions as well. So if anyone has any questions, hey, you can type it in and we'll have a look at them while we're on the live. The other question that I got is, Dinny, what about RSI? Dinny, what about stop losses? Dinny, when do I take profits? These are all buzzwords, okay? That, hi Dinny, was the Why Bitcoin book you referred to recently by Chris McLaughlin? It was indeed. Aaron, get that book, it's a great book. Chris is a great guy. He actually spoke at our Bitcoin event, and his talk is live on YouTube there this year. So Why Bitcoin, fantastic book. So I'll get back to that question there that I was half answering. When it comes to taking profits and all this nonsense, these are people who don't understand investing, okay? These are people who don't understand how to get rich. These are people who watch a few videos, got a few buzzwords, and think they know something. Alright? Traders are losers. You're an absolute loser if you try and trade crypto. Okay? Again, because guess what the failure rate is? 97%. I don't want to play a game where I have a 97% chance of losing and a 3% chance of winning. That's just a good way to give away your money. So the reason why all these trading platforms are free and they have no fees, do you know why that is? There's big pension funds who could move the market cap of any crypto asset, okay? And they buy all your positions off all these free apps. So they know where you are. They know where all your trades sit. They know where your stop losses sit. And that's why the platforms are free. And that's why 97% of people who use them lose money. And instead of giving it to venture capitalists, these idiots are giving it to the trading platforms, who again are multi-million euro or dollar companies. Okay? You don't need to trade. When you really understand Bitcoin, people, okay, you stop thinking like a get-rich-quick idiot, you stop thinking like a poor person, you start thinking like an investor. The reason the richest people in the world are the richest people in the world is because they invested in something. They built a company, which meant they were invested in that, okay? Or they invested into some sort of a product. But they held it for a period of time. How long? A week? A month? A year? Jesus, surely they should have taken profits. No, decades. They held it for decades. And that's why they're the richest people on the planet. You now have an opportunity, because you've got asymmetric information. If you've been following this channel, if you like this channel, if you subscribe to it, you know that Bitcoin is the transition of physical store of value to digital store of value. That's a one event. That only happens once. Just like the transition from physical music to digital music. Only happens once. There's no reinvention of that. Okay? But the transition from physical music to digital music couldn't make you rich as shit. Alright? But the transition from store of value, from physical, as all the old people have all the money but they don't understand technology. Okay? The transition from digital store of value to physical store of value will make you rich. Okay? So, Bitcoin's halving event is coming up in April. It's the fourth halving, and there's something like 32 left to go. Why would you take profits? Why would you put a small bit of money in your pocket and pay tax on it? Because everyone who does this, you know what they do? 4 years later, they've less Bitcoin than when they didn't take profits. And Bitcoin's worth much more. And they wish that they didn't sell it, and they wish that they had a bit of education and foresight to think bigger. I want you guys to think bigger. I want you to see what's going on here. Alright? That's why traders are losers. Because they don't beat investors. Investors are the billionaires. No traders are billionaires. Okay? Traders make money by teaching poor people how to trade and lose money. That's how traders make money. Okay? Doesn't matter. Loads of new participants watching this are going to buy shitcoins and they're going to trade. And if I'm still making videos in a couple of years' time, you know, takes most people 4 years to learn their lesson. Okay? A lot of our audience, though, are smart, and you've been here through the bear market, and you've been stacking sats through the bear market, and some of you are on your way to retirement already. Because you bought the fear. This is how you get rich. When everyone was not interested in crypto, people are interested now. The price is rallying. People are perked up. They're like, oh, it's not dead. But guess what? Our community's been savages. They've been accumulating as many sats as they can throughout the bear market. These people already this year have doubled their net worth in their Bitcoin pension. Good question there by Nikki. Is it too late? And guys, I'm here to answer your questions, and there are no bad questions. I know I'd be hard on traders and I'd be hard on people for getting into altcoins, and it's okay. Like, you know, as part of our course, we teach how to do all this, but we teach how to understand risk first, and we teach how to understand Bitcoin first. Okay? And then you can make the decision with education of how you're going to do it and if you're going to do it. Is it too late? Nikki says. One of my mentors was a guy called Simon Dixon. Simon was the first investment banker to ever speak at a Bitcoin conference. He wrote the first book on Bitcoin. When I got into the space, okay, everything I do, I know I can learn myself and try and figure it out, or I can pay someone who's already done all that and save all my time and make more money. So that's what I done. So I paid Simon to teach me and fast-track my education. And whatever amount of money I paid him, which was a decent sum, I made back way more. Most people try and learn themselves. That's why they stay poor. They don't understand about investing. You can invest into assets, but you can also invest into education. Investing into education is your biggest ROI. Simon said to me anyway, Nikki, he said, in 2012, people thought it was too late to Bitcoin. And he says to me, Dinny, this is in 2019, I think, he said to me, Dinny, you know what? He says, in 2020, as Bitcoin goes through its halving, people are going to say it's too late to Bitcoin. And he says, you know what? The chances are people are going to say that for decades. So everyone thinks it's too late. Let's just look at the fundamentals. Okay, thanks for the questions, guys. I'll get through them all now in a second, and I'll have to shorten my responses. How's my batteries? I'll talk till the batteries go if they go. We look at the fundamentals. Bitcoin isn't held by any institutions. Okay, governments all over the world are the most indebted they've ever been, okay, and they have no choice but to print money and debase, okay. When you look at demographics, the world population is expanding, so maybe physical property isn't a great investment anymore. Physical property is also impaired because you can't take it with you. Bitcoin does everything the physical property does, but you can take it anywhere in the world. Because a field here in northern Spain is of no interest to someone in Dublin or someone in Singapore, okay? But a Bitcoin here in northern Spain is of interest to every human on the planet. They can all do the same stuff with it. And that's the beauty of it. So it's not too late to Bitcoin. Everyone will tell you that. If you zoom out and realise that at the moment there's 6 Bitcoins made every 10 minutes. The supply is only gone down. Okay? There's 8 million Bitcoin haven't moved in 5 years. And institutions are just about to get in. There's 12 applications from the biggest asset managers in the world to let these institutions in. If the S&P 500 companies put 1% of their balance sheet in Bitcoin, and they will, and they'll put way more than that, okay, over this decade, you just watch. But if they put 1% in, Bitcoin's worth 500 grand. If Bitcoin is digital gold, and it takes market share from gold, Bitcoin's worth 500 grand to a million. There's a 1.5 million valuation on Bitcoin. Okay, what about the bond market? Well, all bonds are screwed. Sorry to tell you if you have a pension, but all bonds are screwed. Yeah, you're paying your interest rate out, okay, but the currency is being debased higher, okay, so your real return is zero. If you're getting paid 6% interest and the money supply is expanding at 6%, in real purchasing power terms, you're not making money. That's why all these pensions are under so much trouble. And it's only going to get worse over the next 10 years. That's why people who tell you pensions aren't risky, it's because their job is to sell you a pension, not to help you in any way. Okay, let's shorten the answers. Do you lose a lot of money if you have invested during the halving? Pauline. First off, guys, FYI, if anyone ever contacts you about Bitcoin online, they're a stranger, never invest money with them. Or if they ring you, okay, just for the new people, beware, be careful. And everyone watching, do me a favour there and hit the like button. Let's get some more people on here and get some more questions flowing. So just hit the like button or tag anyone who might want to come into the live stream. But do you lose a lot of money you have invested during the halving? When it comes to Bitcoin, if I buy Bitcoin, let's say today I put my hand in my pocket. Well, not that I have it in my pocket, but and I buy one Bitcoin for 35 grand or whatever's trading at today, and the price goes down to 20 grand. I still own one Bitcoin. Alright, so in Bitcoin denominated terms, I never lose Bitcoin. And that's what I think, because I'm not pricing euro or dollar valuation of Bitcoin. It's volatile, it goes up and down, but the volatility is what makes you rich. So you have to get comfortable with that. Sometimes you're going to buy the thing, and then the market's going to say for a week or a month or a year, well, Bitcoin's not worth what you paid for it. Sorry. Okay, that's why we dollar cost average, because it protects you from your greed. You'll want to buy Bitcoin when the price goes up, and that's when you shouldn't buy it. And you won't want to buy it when the price goes down, and that's when you should buy it. Like all the way through the bear market the last 3 years, while our community, the Retiree Club, have been buying as much Bitcoin as they can and selling everything around their house to get as much as they could, and they've now doubled their net worth. Meanwhile, the herd will only come in when the price is pumping. But we're still miles off the all-time high. So is it a good time to buy Bitcoin? It's always a good time to buy Bitcoin. What happens? Where's that other question there now? Let me see there now. Can I get to these? What happens to all the Bitcoin that's lost in the system? Nikki again. Good question. So what happens to all the Bitcoin that are lost? They're just not available. Okay? So I might have Bitcoin on my phone in a wallet and I can see them. And I can see I have 2 Bitcoin. But if I can't spend them, okay, they're no good. It's like, let's say if you have €1 million worth of gold and the ship sinks and it's down the bottom of the sea. Like, that gold still exists. If someone can go and find it, they could spend it. Just like if someone could somehow unlock that wallet, they can then spend the Bitcoin. But Bitcoin that's lost in wallets, there hasn't been a way to get that. Unlike if you lose your gold to the bottom of the sea, you can go and find it. So what happens is it makes the Bitcoin remaining even more scarce, therefore even more valuable. So Bitcoin is this unique asset that when I die, if I don't think my family are being nice to me and I don't leave them my wealth, well, if I have a house, they can take the house, and if I have cash, they'll get the cash, and if I have any other assets, they'll get them. But if I have Bitcoin, I can take it with me, insofar as I don't have to leave it to anybody. If I'm like, I don't want the fucking government getting half of my Bitcoin, screw that, they never done that for me. I can actually take my Bitcoin with me, and I can make a donation to the Bitcoin network. So by dying with my coins, I just make the rest of the network stronger. I make the rest of the people who aligned with me to make the world better by bringing it to a Bitcoin standard. I reward all them. Mike, what do you think will be the effect on the price of Bitcoin if the big hedge funds like BlackRock, Grayscale and others get their ETF approved? It will take Bitcoin to 1 million, Mike. First it'll take it to hundreds of thousands and then into the millions. And that's not a if, that's a when. Okay? So that's what's ahead of you people. There's never been a chance for the small person to front run institutions, except for today. Sorry, this is a bit finicky. Any questions on Instagram there? Don't think there was any questions on the gram. Oh, there's one, is it? What do you need? Being accumulating but feeling underexposed. Would you advise buying a large amount of Bitcoin now pre-halving or just continue to DCA? I won't be able to answer that because I can't answer it on a live feed because there's much more nuance to that. But you should be able to work out what you should do yourself there. Because I can't give financial advice. Nothing you hear is financial advice. How are you, Dinny? Is it enough to have a bit of Bitcoin held in Revolut? Dennis. Yeah, I was actually only just chatting to my cousin there, and I was telling him to use Revolut, and he was saying, I thought you said not to use Revolut. I was like, yeah, but if I give you the perfect strategy, okay, Revolut gets us 97% of the way there, but the perfect strategy gets us 100. So for the sake of 3%, if I give you the perfect strategy, I mean, it takes you time to learn and figure out, and you probably won't do it. But if I can get you 97% of the way there by using Revolut, go for it, do it. So a lot of my clients now, although I don't do it, but I'm professional, this is my job, I'm like, Revolut's fine, guys. It'll get you in the door, it'll get you stacking sats, and you can learn as you go, because the whole point of everything is to start. It's not that you get everything perfect in the beginning, it's to get started. That's all that matters. And then momentum starts to come in and you start to get more educated. And then you can refine your plan and understand about self-custody and all this other good stuff. But yeah, I'd go at it. Go with Revolut. When you recommend people to buy Bitcoin, ballpark figure are you referring to? I know everyone's different, but are you talking about a single coin or fractions, etc.? What I try and not tell people to specifically buy Bitcoin, because some people have no financial literacy whatsoever. So I say study Bitcoin, because by studying Bitcoin you learn how to become an investor, you learn how the whole world works, you learn about economics, you learn about money, you learn about risk, you learn about investing. So I try and just tell people to study Bitcoin, read a few Bitcoin books, take Bitcoin courses. That's what I done. Okay. Shameless plug, book in for a consultation with me. I'll explain everything to you so it's clear as day, and you can literally have your pension plan sorted in 90 minutes. And then we just have to check in with follow-up meetings. But in terms of, if I'm to tell you how much Bitcoin to buy, I won't tell you the figure, because that's not how you should be thinking, guys. You should be thinking on percentage terms. So again, as I said to my cousin, at the moment it's 1%. You can insure your whole finances, your net worth, by having a 1% exposure to Bitcoin. That's not me saying that. That's smarter money managers than me who've done the math on it. But it won't always be like that. It could be as soon as this time next year, 12 months from now, you might need to have 10% in. So you're going to need to fork up a hell of a lot more money for the same insurance, for the same risk profile in your portfolio to insure the other 90%. But at the moment, around 1% insures the portfolio. So that's where I say people start. That's how I got my parents to start. I explained Bitcoin multiple times. They couldn't get it. They're not digital savvy. They're not digital native like me. So I just says, here, give me 5% of your money. And if I lose 5%, so what? Do you trust me? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Boom. Then that 5%... okay, and we left the other 95% in cash, good old cash, because my parents are old school. But when you understand money, cash is trash, it's the worst asset to hold. And the cash has suffered from horrendous inflation since we done that. But the 5% in Bitcoin, well, that's going up in purchasing power. and that's protected their life savings by just that tiny little risk investment. And that's the beauty of it. What do you think is the best platform to buy it on? I see PayPal and Revolut is just two of them. John Paul. Yeah, they're good places to start. I've never actually used PayPal. I have used Revolut. They're great places to start, so get cracking. Then you've got what's called exchanges, which would be like Coinbases or Crypto.coms or Kraken or Swissborg or any of these. Okay? Then you've got brokers. Me personally, I only use a broker and have only used a broker for the last few years because for me it's just the most convenient. And you see, when you use an exchange or even a Revolut, if anything goes wrong, they don't have a phone number. They do not have a phone number. That's a problem if you're trying to solve a problem. So the beauty of a broker is you have the guy's fucking phone number. You can ring him up immediately. You have his email. You know, you build up a relationship with that person. And there's custody solutions as well if you're not competent in self-storage yet. And they have a different custody model than exchanges. With exchanges, once you put your money on them, the terms and conditions that you never read mean they own the Bitcoin, they can trade the Bitcoin, they can loan your Bitcoin, and when they go insolvent, where's all the customers' Bitcoin? Like FTX, there was like 80,000 Bitcoins meant to be on the platform, and they didn't exist. They never bought them. They fucking shafted their customers. Okay? Whereas with the broker business model, they've just got a custody license, so they can't touch the Bitcoin. So should they go insolvent, all the customer assets are there. So you don't have the horrendous bankruptcies like with Celsius and FTX and BlockFi and Voyager. Colin, what's crack? How up to date are your courses? I appreciate it. Space Conf. There's Mike. That's a good one. I was only thinking about this the other day, Mike. I made my course, I think it was in 2021. Okay? And it's more relevant today. This is where people go wrong. Because they're constantly chasing the hype and the latest and the new thing. These people don't get rich. Okay? My course just teaches fundamentals, principles. The principles that made people wealthy 50 years ago. Okay? But I just applied them to the digital space. So that's the irony, is that people will look for the shiny object and the new thing, and they'll hop on the latest NFT craze or AI stock craze or whatever nonsense. And this is a per person strategy. Okay, investing fundamentals are timeless. And my course, everything that's on it, and that's the beauty. If you go and read all our Google reviews, you'll see people that say, holy shit, Dinny, like, your course is just... I didn't get it at the time. It took me 3 years to figure out the lessons. And I still have people who, you know, I'll see them and they're blatantly breaking my golden rules, okay, and my principles. And you know it's going to blow up on them. And it does. And then they admit, like, shit, I should have followed the course. So, yeah, everything just works, man. You say you were poor, and now you're not wealthy. Okay, we have personal questions coming in here. You must have sold or traded at some stage. Can't live on what's in your ledger, no matter what figure it shows. Okay, there's no question mark there, Joe. Good man. So I'll just leave that one, will I? Or will I entertain him? Good advice, as usual, Dinny. What I'll say to you, Joe, is I got wealthy the hard way. By working, by building businesses, by having many streams of income, and that allows me to be out here in northern Spain doing nothing. Okay. I still work. I enjoy working. I don't do feck all work, now, let's be honest. Sometimes I do, but in the last 2 months of being out here, geez, I think I've done a handful of consultations. I've sort of avoided work like the plague. But I do like working, and I have multiple streams of income from many businesses that I built. And I don't sell Bitcoin because I don't see the point in selling it or trading it. Again, short-term thinking. This isn't a way of getting profits. This is a way of creating generational wealth. More money you can never spend. But then again, I don't need any money. I'm happy living in a van, surfing every day, and I don't know what I live on, 20 quid a day, like. But whatever. How are you, Dinny? Is it enough to have a bit of Bitcoin on Revolut? Oh yeah, I done that one, sorry. Hold on there now, we're trying to do a few on Instagram. How's the battery life? Let me just have a check. Oh, we're down to 6%. And this is the phone that has my... I'm hotspotting the other one off, so we might lose. I'll have to hop on now since there seems to be a bit more interest with the questions. Hey Dinny, my wife has been saying for saving for the kids, and it's just matured after 18 years of the traditional way through Abigel. We had put it in cash around 20, got back after charges 6. So he put 20 grand in, he got back 16 and a half. I took out invested in Bitcoin around 5 months ago. The 15k I invested for my son is currently 22. It's a no-brainer. Fair play, man. Imagine that's actually going to be worth for your son in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You know, because your kid has decades. You know, people are saving euros in credit union for their kids. It's a total waste of time, people. It's a total waste of time. Live now. Noel, you can go back and check something there because I'm not quite sure what you're saying. The comments are a bit all over the place here, lads. It's hard to follow them. I have 2 phones in my hands. Phone in this hand. Hello, say hello to each other. I watched a meme thing, or a joke thing the other day, where a guy with 2 phones, he rang one Chinese restaurant with this phone and one Chinese restaurant with this phone. He put them like that. It was hilarious. Okay. Is the best place to store Bitcoin on a ledger? Ledger is like called cold storage. And taking self-custody of your Bitcoin definitely is the best place to store it. Because when you leave it on exchanges, okay, they can do funny business in their terms and conditions. They don't have to buy Bitcoin. So if you own Bitcoin, you own it because you want the value of it to go up. But if you buy it on some shitty exchange like FTX and they don't even buy Bitcoin, they're actually suppressing the price of it. Because you've given your money to buy Bitcoin, but they haven't bought Bitcoin off the open market. So they're suppressing the price of it. And that's why when you self-custody your Bitcoin, there can be no shenanigans. That's why Bitcoin's better than gold, because it's much easier to audit than gold. I can show you a picture of gold, and you can be like, oh yeah, there's loads of gold. You don't know if it's gold or not. Okay? You have to do fucking specialist tests on it. But if you self-custody your Bitcoin, you know if you have it or not. You know if you own it or not. I didn't understand. Do we use Revolut to buy Bitcoin, or should we use Coinbase? You can use both, whichever you're comfortable with. Best Bitcoin book recommendation. Daddy Sax Music. Oh, sorry, Connor. I like Everything Divided by 21 Million. That's my number 1 recommendation now, because it's simple, easy, but it literally opens your eyes up to how the world's going to change and how you're being foolish by not owning some Bitcoin. Oh, someone's ringing me there now. That's possibly my wife. I'll better start making my way back. But yeah, Everything Divided by 21 Million. For an easy read for people who struggle with technical books. But it will get the job done. Hard money you can't fuck with. Hard money you can't fuck with. Read that one. That's a good one. The Bitcoin Standard is a good one. A short Bitcoin book. If you want a short book that highlights Bitcoin, I recommend Chris McLaughlin's book. Guy from Ireland, fantastic book. And it's called Why Bitcoin. We were chatting about that earlier. You'll get that on Amazon. I think I bought mine. But yeah, do yourself a favour and go read a Bitcoin book, because you can watch podcasts and listen to me waffling, but I'm not going to cover everything. Whereas a book will take you through the journey of everything you need to know. It'll answer all your questions and it'll piece it all together. When you're just listening to YouTubes and nonsense headlines, or your friend talking, or Dinny waffling, you're not getting the proper picture, like, you know. Hey Dinny, how's the vacation going? Good, man, all's going well, yeah. Thanks Dinny, thanks guys. Lovely. Massive swing in L2 season, looks like it's a full swing. Imagine when ETF hits. Yeah. Oh, gee, I got a cramp in my legs. When the ETF hits, oh, it'll probably be a buy the rumour, sell the news event. But for investors, we take advantage of that. We understand it. We know it's coming. We basically don't care, okay? You get rich by doing nothing. That's why you should become an investor. You should zoom out. You should create a decade plan and Well, I shouldn't tell you what you should do. If you get educated, you'll realise what you should do. Okay? But you should just know that if you're new, it's highly likely you lose money in this cycle. If you buy altcoins with no education, it's highly likely, 97% that you lose money. No, 99%. If you trade, it's 97% that you're going to lose money. Okay? And if you invest into your education and study Bitcoin, and you're prepared to hold it for 4 years, it's 100%. So far, no guarantee that continues. But this rule is held since Bitcoin began. Anyone who holds Bitcoin for 4 years increases their net worth. It's that simple, baby. Learn how to dollar cost average, stack sats, think of it like a pension, accumulate, educate, and let all the clueless idiots run around, lose their money, lose their shit, and realise that if they just stack sats and stayed humble, like Matt Odell says, they'd be on their way to retirement. But it's never too late, okay? Bitcoin likely has 2 decades of outperforming every asset on the planet with volatility, okay? So 1 year up 300%, next year down 5%, whatever. Bitcoin on average over the last 4 years, I think it's been going up 50% a year. All right, that'll make 50. If you can find an investment that's returning 50% a year, that'll make most people, okay, without huge investments, it'll give you 7-figure net worth in a decade. That's the beauty of compounding. Guys, I'm going to log off now. Walk back. Thanks everyone for the questions. It's awesome to have a nice community on here and everyone learning. And thanks everyone for the questions. And I'll chat to you all soon. Have a super evening. Dinny out for now. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It's your goddamn daily exercise. What a view. This little town I'm in. Oh, there's a car. Leg it. Beautiful evening here. It's nice and still. And I'm just heading back to the van now. Dinny out.